socket. There's no plug socket there. Fresh. Bloody fresh as one of Jimmy's weekly visitors, that ain't it? Spit on it and force it in. The girl starts off right slim and she gets morbidly obese. Peaceful on here, innit? Till that machine start and I start singing to you. What do you want to hear? Sweet Caroline. Where did it begin? Da, 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 da. Anyway, plan for today. This here got put in by this idiot, 75mm lower than it needed to be. So I took my readings off my thickenings, which is the outer perimeter, when I shouldn't have done. So we need to bring this all up to height and then set the thickenings in. So we've got 2 loads of stone coming, so we're going to set this up to height, redo the thickenings, put the fill sand in, not fill sand, fill sand. Yeah, put the fill sand in, and then we'll start knocking formwork together once the other timber lands on site. Yeah, so we're pretty much waiting for stone this morning. So I think let's knock the drawing board up. Back to the drawing board. It's Monday again, and we're about to get busy. Busy week this week. It's in preparation for the concrete that's getting poured on Friday. So we're 2 days behind schedule, 2 days off plan, which is due to the delays on the grab trucks. So we've got to get drainage in, all the ground prep done, all the reinforcement meshing, membranes, formwork, all ready for Friday. I think the thing about construction in general is that people assume, or people try and portray, that it's all swimming. There's no issues, you don't run into any problems. But I've been in this game for like 16 years, and it's always the same. There's always delays, there's always cock-ups, there's always something that goes wrong. It's just the nature of the beast. You're building like with raw materials, and you're relying on other people. You know, the situation with grab trucks, you know, it was what it was. But it's just the added pressure, and it's just about forecasting, being able to say, I'll be able to save on that, I'll be able to save on that, and just keep going, keep pushing. Really. I'm setting up my temp office, you know what I mean? So I need somewhere to put this little beauty.
I'm sorry I've not been looking after you, but I promise once that electric comes, I'm going to take good care of you.
So, timber, desk, station set for now until cabin arrives. Hardest part of any site is when you set it up, because you've got no water, no power, nowhere to do anything. Try to run 4 businesses while being on tools. Just difficult, so little temp office until cabin arrives, which I'm really excited about. Kettle on hand, Yorkshire tea, pride and place on its own shelf. Just need power really now. We're coming this afternoon to get that sorted. So today is the day of power on site, which also means that I can have a brew, which I for one I'm really excited about, because if I don't have a brew throughout the day, it makes me upset. And when I get upset, I get angry, and when I get angry, I make mistakes, you see. So brew's most important part of a site, because it gives you a chance to just stop and think, which there hasn't been much of that on this site up to press. So made a bit of a boo-boo when I looked at my drawings. I didn't look at them right. Plot 2, I took the reading off the thickening and got confused. So I've put my thickenings in too low. Everything needs to come up 75mm. So such is life and all that. So today's more stone coming. Obviously Bracken and Josh are here to help out, get all the formwork in, and we're pressed to get everything finished for Friday. But Monday, kettle is going to go on. Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. I enjoy squeezing your nuts. I always get outcome from it, you know what I mean? Sweet. Yeah, brilliant. All right, mate. Well, I appreciate your phone call, and I look forward to more information. Top man. Yeah, sweet. Thanks a lot, bud. Ta-ra, mate. I love squeezing his nuts because when I squeeze them, it comes, which is what you want, really, isn't it? So initially we were planning to get onto site with the timber frames the 13th of October. It's now the 22nd of September, I think. So we're expecting 13th of October, which gives us plenty of time to get all the slabbing up to DPC, groundwork's all prepped and sorted. But they've knocked it back 4 weeks. That phone call there was just to say that, you know, we're just tickling them. He said there's possibly a chance that we'll be able to knock a week off. I'm not promising anything, but everyone agrees. There you go. It's time to get some drainage in plot 1. It's obviously much easier when you've got bodies on site. So you might be asking the question, well, why haven't you had bodies on site sooner? And the reason why is because it's an health and safety nightmare to have bodies on site when the machine's running around. And I've managed to save myself £4 grand. Some more stone to fill all in that I've dug, which is building in a nutshell. Dig hole, fill it in. Journey's plot 2, lovely stuff. So inspector's been and he's gone, and that's all she wrote. But I mean, what is it for him to see? It's the drawings in it. I don't even know why they're bother coming out, because they just go. Don't they? Most of them don't even say out. Nice enough chap though, wasn't he?
So, yeah.
So draining, pea gravel, stone, binder, blinding, formwork. Pining for a brew. This is like brew time, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
This part of the day is brew time.
That's where I tell you that I don't drink brews.
Get off. Get off my side. You filming? There you go, look. So, best way to lube a pipe up. Spit on it and force it in. There we go. That's all she wrote. Right, listen up here. You better get ready, because in about 2 months I'm going to send a shit down here. Hear ye, there is a delivery on site of more wood. The wood is good, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Productive day, really. Drains across the full site are now setting. All pop-ups are in. This is almost ready for the blinding. Thickenings have been all sorted out. It's absolutely perfect. Just wants a good titivation with roller. And then this garage base wants its 75mm pad in middle. So I'm going to get that in tonight. So when I come tomorrow, blinding, formwork. You know what I mean? But setting out engineers coming tonight, and then we've got to shoot over to the buy-to-let to check in on things and see how things have gone over there. So we'll see you over on other one. I think what's hard for people to understand as well is that it's not just one company, it's a group company, it's a group structure. So the portfolio in itself, the portfolio building itself is a separate business. The pavilions is a separate business. My construction company is a separate business. And the construction company facilitates and does all the contracting for the other companies. So it's almost like you've got to step out of that role into another role to go just check everything's going on and all that lot. But it boils down to having a team around you. Do you know what I mean? If you've got the team around you to rely on, then you don't need to worry about it. I'm excited. Because I haven't been here in 2 weeks. But what I'm more excited about is there's a kettle on this job and there isn't one on mine, so let's go stick it on. There's been some progress. So initially when we looked at this we were like, sound, no damp, no this, no that, and then true to the word, when you start pulling back the layers you just run into all kinds of problems, so we've took it back to brick. Now the priority with this was to get the EPC rating up to a C, because if you don't know, as of 2028 I think it is, all buy-to-let properties must be a C rating for an EPC. So insulate all external walls, insulate the ceiling, insulate the loft. So I'm going to take you around and show you what stage we're at. So obviously this is the kitchen, stripped everything back. Obviously green grit on the walls, which is a nightmare if you've ever used it. Now, do you want to hear something that's not funny? When chimney breast got took out, popped an all through just to check how the neighbour were doing. She were fine. Got crumbs all over her kitchen table, but yeah. Chimney breast out, so this is going to be flued up. So these houses are right weird how they're built. They're built like that, interlinked together. And obviously this is a shared chimney breast. So that's got to get flued, and then we're going to put a stud wall here, because this is going to be all kitchen units. Nice open plan kitchen. Let's go upstairs and have a look upstairs. Don't walk into the light, John boy. So upstairs, if you remember this, it were a 2-bed, and the front room, that front room were a tiny little box room, and it's going to be a bathroom now. So I'll take you in. Bathroom in here. I spoke about a false window on the outside. There's a panel in bottom of there. Looks really neat and tidy. Quick and easy way. Don't need to brick it up, so that we can put a bath shower on this side. Vanity units across there. Throne. Get out, love, I'm having a banger. Goes in there. Main bedroom. Lovely big space. Obviously bed, wardrobes, dressing table. Let's go into that one. Nice little bedroom. So obviously the box room now is this room, which is not a box room. It's a lovely sized bedroom. Single bed. Oh, pardon me. Wardrobe, TV, desk, whatever. This window wasn't here. There were lintel up there, sill on there, so we've obviously put that window in. All fire rated, opening, fire exit, fires, windows. This room here, I'm not right pleased about it, but like I said, we didn't want to have to do any major works to it, so it's going to be stepped down into here. Now this originally was going to be the master bedroom, but it's changed into what I probably would use it as a guest room or a second bedroom. Your main bedroom would be at front, this would be your guest bedroom. So bed across there, obviously 2 sockets, and then, you know, a wardrobe or TV or whatever in there. I just don't like the pitch, I don't like the step down, but it is what it is and it serves a purpose. And yeah, so obviously I can't show you outside because it's pitch black, because we're working all hours at the moment to get stuff done. So I best get off home and get some rest, because I'm up tomorrow because the gym starts again.
Being on a diet is absolutely shite. The day's not started great. Just started to contemplate my life choices. So I'm stood having a piss, staring at a piab on top of the rhino. And I've got all this chaos going on. And someone walks in, happy as Larry, to McDonald's with not a care in the world. And I'm graced with a black coffee. And it's now Monopoly. And if I've won a McFlurry, I'm going to be even more fuming because I can't even eat it. No McFlurry. So we've got to get this concrete ready for Friday. It's tough. So we better get moving on with down the hatch. Today's going to be a good day, I keep telling myself.
When Tommy were born, I've spoke before about like the lag in bond that I had. I mean, I might be speaking for myself, or it might be generally spread across men in general. When you have kids, there's people tell you it's like love that you'd never imagine. But for me, it was like 6, 7, 8 months before I had that bond with Tommy. And obviously, we've been used to getting up early. It was far easier to leave on a morning back then than it is now. Obviously, the hard part were leaving my wife Liv to do everything. But now I've got 2. Oh, leaving on a morning's just heartbreaking. Talk to me. Ooh, talk to me. Do you think you're better off alone? I think you're doing just fine with me. So, day started right well. Well, not that great. Black coffee shit. But what is good is there's a delivery and there's another delivery, which means we're going to be busy. But that's what we want, because Friday's approaching, concrete's booked in, there's no formwork there to hold that concrete in place, so we better get a chuffy move on. So today's going to be fast and furious, blinding, shuttering, membrane, stone, another one of them, electrics, another one of them, cup of tea. It's just going to get better as the day goes on, really. We've had some more stone again, so I mean, stone wise, that takes the order up to 200 tons of stone. We've had 40 tons of pipeliner and we've had 40 tons of fill sand. Not fill sand, but fill sand. So today is the day where the formwork starts going in, which I've been really excited about. And normally I'd give myself 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, sorry, I'd give myself a full week to do this. And I've got today, tomorrow, I've got 3 days to get it done. So I'm under a lot of pressure. But it's where I like to be, you know what I mean? Outside the comfort zone. Measure that up, what is it? 235, 235. I've been waiting for this part, this day, since we bought this site. Because it's exciting, because shuttering is a good job. And it means that we're one step closer. One step closer to the finish line. But we're not that close at all. Initially when I set sail on project, I did have a thought about the completion of it. Like, everyone always thinks like, oh, it'd be amazing. And for me, I block that out, because until the job's done, it's not done. It probably will be really emotional for me, obviously, with it being my first development and getting through it, because before starting any difficult job, challenge, or journey, or whatever you want to call it, you've almost got to get yourself psyched up for it. It's like you've got to have a word with yourself and say, look, this is going to be tough, this is going to be tough, like, and sounds weird to say, but you have these conversations with yourself and it's like, I'm relying on you to get me through this, so just keep going. And I think once you've put that conversation to bed, it makes it easier to progress through it. So I don't really think about the end, it's more about the milestones. So the big milestones for me are slabbing. That's a big milestone because that's a weight off my shoulders knowing that we're out of ground. I can then start really ironing out the budget, because until you're out of ground you can't really forecast the project. Next major milestone is timber frames up. Once the timber frame's up, relief again. Next major milestone is watertight. And then the biggest one for me is the airtight test. Obviously we're going for passive, never built passive before. Obviously there's a process that you have to follow. It's not a case of, oh well, if it don't work we can go back to it, we can sort it out. Like, you have to follow the process correctly to ensure that it's 100% right when that air test gets done. So above all milestones, that air test one for me is the biggest, and then it's pretty much just plain sailing till end then. Do you think I've got a backflip in me?
Oh yeah,
Not yet. Not yet.
maybe episode 10.
I'm gonna give you one. I reckon I've got one. I've got some exciting news for you. There's a man here with a very, very strong airline. And he brings power. Power in those and power in that. Power in that means some of this. Oh yes. Oh. That's what that means. Can't wait. Can just hear it now. One step closer. It's good stuff, this. Obviously it's normally either river sand or you put a concrete blind in, but what this is it's crushed limestone, and when you compact it, it goes absolutely rock hard, and it's cheap at £11 a tonne. Neighbours have been round with good news. They've been watching. They've been watching. And look inside. Oh, the goody goods. So it's been a long time coming. We've been on site for now. This is the 3rd week, and we've obviously got power. We've got tea, and that's all that matters. Now, I'm pushing towards getting the formwork all finished, ready for Friday's concrete pour. And if I busted an absolute gut and put my balls on the table and risked it, I probably would be able to get it done. But having done formwork before, and knowing that if you don't really shore it up and make sure that it's not going to go anywhere, then there's one thing that is sure, it'll bust. And I don't fancy blowing 12 grand down shithole. So I moved pour back to Wednesday, or forward to Wednesday or whatever. So it's now going to give me time to get the site reorganised and get it all cleared so that the wagons have somewhere to wash out in. So first things first before a busy day, kettle on. It's Wednesday today, and we need to give you a nickname. I'm going to call you Dipstick. Dipstick, because he uses the dipstick and tells me how low or high I am. So obviously if you take a look over there, preparations for plot 2 are moving swiftly on. Now today what I've got to do is prep plot 1. Now the stages are pretty simple. Stone up to the thickening stone height, compact. yeah? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my blinding around the outside of the perimeter so that it tells me by eye how much more stone I need to do for the centre rise. Then I'm going to put the blinding on top of the centre rise, or the oversight, or whatever you want to call it, and make this plot look like that plot to get ready for the major pour. Now, knocking the pour back to Wednesday, I think, was a very smart idea, because it means that I can get the site reset, because I've been chasing my arse for the past couple of days, just trying to keep up to the time frame that I set because of the 2-day knockback on the grabs. But such is life. Let's get it right, because this stage is extremely important. Finished day today. More so because there's tea on site, and tea makes everything better. You don't realise how important it is to have tea on site, because it makes you stop and think clearly. If there's something going wrong, stop and have a brew. If there's something going right, stop and have a brew. If you're tired, stop and have a brew. If you've had a brew, stop and then have a brew. I think I've had, what have I had today? I think I've had 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5. So, good day overall. Plot 1's coming on. Plot 2 is pretty much marked out on the first lift of the foundation slab. So, it's the perimeter toe that's pretty much marked out. It's not fixed in place yet, which is a bit of a letdown, really. But everything is on site that I need to be on site, ready for tomorrow and Friday. And we're making good progress. We are still behind by a couple of days, but I reckon once the slab's in, I'll be able to bring that back. So last night when I got home, I was trying to be right good and, you know, keep my mess not messy. So I put my work trousers away, which I don't normally do. I normally just hang them over the banister, but wife don't like that. And what's happened this morning is I've left them away. So I've got to go buy some work trousers. Now I begrudge paying hundreds of pounds for work trousers, and the cheap ones are crap. I wear jeans because I can buy them for 20 quid, just as good and comfortable. And now I've got to go buy myself a pair of pissing work trousers that are expensive, that I don't like wearing. So today's not started well, but we will seize the day and turn this shit start into a good one. That's for you fat shite. The most important part of any building is the foundation, and this foundation is a slab foundation, as I've mentioned previously. Now, as I am on my own today, I'm tunes on and I'm pottering away, but I'm going to talk you through what's actually going on. So, I'm staking my joints. Now, you are supposed to use nails when you're doing formwork because the shear rate of a nail is higher than the shear rate of a screw, which, for anyone that doesn't know what that means, it's snap. Screws snap easier than nails do. However, I want to be able to separate this easily, so I'm screwing it together and I can use the screws to tighten it up. And then before I put it all together, I'll go around and tap some nails in. So, spikes on the joints. These are going to act as a downward prop on the toe as well. So there's a board to go on there, and then the toe will go into there, and then from that there'll be a brace that comes down into a ground peg, and that'll go all the way around. So the first stage really is making sure that this is absolutely level and square all the way around. So that's what I'm doing pretty much. Banging these in, screwing them in. Bish bash bosh. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you will have seen a very bad formwork fail. And it was the first time I ever did formwork. Since then, I've done one other formwork, and then I'm doing 2 plots. So the question is, will it hold? It's perfect. But will it hold? Chris has been contracts manager for Scott Frame, Timber Frame, bloody Sangaban, whatever you want to call them. So the conundrum that we've got is that because both plots are going up at once, and there's going to be scaffolding in the way, and we're wanting to avoid the working at heights situation, what they'll do is they'll build the roof on the ground and then crane it in and put it on once the external walls are up. Now the laydown that we've got on site isn't big enough, so I made a phone call and asked the farmer, please Mr. Farmer, can I use your field for a couple of hours? And he said, aye, no worries. So that's that problem sorted. But that problem sorted has caused another problem. Is the crane going to reach that field, and is the ground condition good enough to carry the crane that's going to crane the roof in? So now I need to get a drawing done from a structural engineer to say, yep, that crane can go there. Sounds like more money to me. It's Friday, break your back day, mesh day, rushing around day to get ready for concrete day. So today's about putting the base layer in and putting the steel chairs in for the reinforced slab. As you can see now, little talk you through situation, little hook and loop situation. You're basically just wiring it all together so it's one big nice tight piece of steel mesh. And as you can see, I've been very busy. So this slab's got 3 layers in it, and this is the first layer, and then I've got to put the chairs in, which are them things over there. These are your steel chairs. Yeah. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them. There you go, look, it's a chair. You see, what that does is it creates a void between the layers of mesh. And then your next layer sits on top of that, so it creates the mesh at the right height that it needs to be at. I love it. It's one of them things that's like, you know, you do it for the first time, you're like, oh, that's really cool. And then like you do it over and over again and it's really not cool anymore. But there you go, base layers set in now, and I've got all my trees in place and all the perimeter mesh in place, because on the perimeter, as it overhangs the thickening, there's another layer which comes across, and then it recesses back 300, comes up 165, and then there's 2 layers of mesh to go on top. So Monday's going to be thick and fast. I'm calling in the cavalry, the big guns, and I'm going to get the toe finished and put the 2 layers of mesh on top, a couple of hours in the morning, and then I'm going to tackle that big boy there, plot number 1. Now there's a rush on to get these built. 1, because Northern Power are on a time limit, and 2, because the cold is coming and I wanted them watertight before Christmas. So the challenge is on and I'm ready. Stay tuned.